this final plot line deals with Wilhelm Tell himself. Tell is Schiller's ideal everyman. Tell initially believes that if he just lives his life, hunting, taking care of his family affairs, the Habsburg princes will leave him alone. He soon discovers otherwise. When he makes an innocent mistake, the tyrant Gessler forces him to shoot an apple off his own son's head. And despite succeeding in doing that, he is imprisoned. He manages to escape. He now realizes he must act to gain freedom. In this scene, we find Wilhelm Tell on a lonely country road, pondering the task he must undertake.
He needs must come along this hollow lane. There is no other way to Küsnacht. Here, I'll do it. The opportunity is good. I'm hidden from him well by yonder bush, and down from there my shaft can reach to him. The narrowness of the path prevents pursuit. Now, settle thine accounts with heaven, governor. Thou must be gone. Thy path has run its course. I lived a quiet, harmless life. My shaft was only aimed at forest animals. My thoughts were absolutely free of murder. 'Twas thou aroused me from my peaceful state. Into a sea-thing dragon's poison hast thou turned the milk of my good disposition. Thou hast accustomed me to monstrous things. Who took aim at the head of his own child can just as well strike at the heart of the foe. My lovely children in their innocence, my blessed wife, must I protect against thy fury, governor? For when I last drew my bowstring, when my hand was quivering, when thou with gruesome devilish delight madest me take aim at the head of mine own child, when I writhed before thee begging helplessly, was then I took within mine inner self a fearful, solemn oath which only God did hear, that my next shaft, foremost target, would be thine heart. And that which I pledged myself within the hellish torment of that moment is a most sacred debt, which I will pay. Thou art my lord, my emperor's governor, but the emperor would ne'er have allowed what thou... He sent thee to this land to render justice, sternly for he's wrought, but not to mount each new atrocity with murderous joy and with impunity. There lives a God to punish or avenge. Come, thou hereforth, thou bringer of bitter pain. But now, my precious jewel, my highest treasure, a target I will give thee, that till now hath been impenetrable to pious prayers, but unto thee it shall not give resistance. And thou, my trusty bowstring, that so oft hath served me faithfully in the joys of play, desert me not in this dread earnestness. Be stout this once, my faithful cord, that hath so oft bewinged my bitter shaft. Escaped it just now feebly from my hand. I do not have a second one to send. Upon this bench of wood I'll sit me down, afforded for the traveler's brief repose. For here there is no helm. Each presses past the other, hastily and distantly, concerned with his affairs and worries not about the other's pain. Here comes the apprehensive merchant, and the lightly attired pilgrim, the attentive monk, the somber robber, and the cheerful player, the driver with his heavy-laden horse, who comes from far the distant lands of men. For every road leads to the end of the world. Each presses on his way, concerned with his affairs. And mine is murder. Before, when father traveled forth, dear children, there was a joy when he'd come home again. For ne'er returned he, lest he brought you something. Was it a beauteous alpine flower, an unusual bird, or amoret, such as the traveler finds on these hills? Now he seeks a different venery. 'Tis the life of the foe for which he seeks. And yet he thinks alone of you, dear children, even now to fend for you in your lovely innocence, to shield against the vengeance of the tyrant. He now intends to bend his bow to murder. I wait upon a noble beast. Let not the hunter be discouraged, days on end, to roam about within the winter's harshness, to make the daring leap from rock to rock, to climb the jagged, slippery mountain walls to which his limbs are glued with his own blood, in order to bag a wretched mountain goat. A far more precious prize is here at stake, the heart of the deadly foe who would destroy me. From days of youth have I employed the bow, been practiced in the rules of archery. I've often hit the target in the black, and many a beauteous prize have I brought home from joyous shooting. But today, I mean to make the master shot and win the very best in all the wide circumference of the mountains.
But this is not the end of the story. Wilhelm Tell does make good on his pledge and slays the tyrant Gessler. The Swiss folk unite around the now patriotic Uli Rudens. But as they are celebrating, it's interrupted by a powerful twist of events which bears in it a stern warning against capricious use of violence against authority. We hope we've inspired some of you or all of you